Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Inner Spark. Today's story is about a boy who rose from the dust of a forgotten village to change the world with nothing but his dreams and determination. It's a journey that proves you don't need perfect beginnings to create extraordinary endings. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss our weekly dose of inspiration. In the heart of a dusty plain stood a tiny village where opportunities were as rare as rain. People here believed life was meant to be survived, not dreamed about. Among the cracked mud houses and fading fields lived a boy named Aarav. His clothes were old, his shoes had holes, and his stomach often growled. Yet in his eyes burned something unusual, an unshakable spark of curiosity. While others talked about the weather and crops, Aarav talked about the stars and cities he had never seen. Aarav's father worked from sunrise to sunset, carrying bricks at a construction site miles away. Every coin he earned was a battle against hunger. At night, he'd return home exhausted, barely speaking a word. Yet he always placed his calloused hand on Aarav's head, as if passing him silent strength. Aarav understood the sacrifices, but he also knew his dreams couldn't be built on just survival. They needed vision. The village school was little more than 4 crumbling walls and a tin roof full of holes. When it rained, classes stopped. There were no computers, no proper books, just a chalkboard and a few tattered pages. Still, Aarav sat in the front, absorbing every word his teacher said, as if they were treasures. He wasn't the smartest in the class, but he was the most relentless. Every answer he got wrong only fueled him to learn more. Electricity came and went like a fleeting guest in the village. On dark nights, Aarav would lie on the ground outside, staring at the stars. He'd whisper to himself, "The world is so big. Why should I stay small?" He didn't know exactly how, but he felt certain he was meant for something beyond the dusty roads he walked every day. The stars became his silent companions, his nightly reminder that life had endless possibilities. One evening, a volunteer from the city came to the village to deliver old books. Among them was a torn biography of a famous inventor, Aarav read it cover to cover under a flickering kerosene lamp. The man in the book had also grown up poor, but had changed the world with his ideas. That night, Aarav's heart pounded with a new realization. Success wasn't about where you started, it was about refusing to stay there. When Aarav began speaking about his dream of becoming a scientist, the village laughed. "A scientist? You don't even have proper shoes," they mocked. Some shook their heads and told him to be realistic. It hurt, but Aarav smiled and kept his vision locked inside like a secret flame. He understood something most didn't. People only laugh at dreams they can't see themselves achieving. Every day before school, Aarav would help his father carry bricks. The work was backbreaking, but it paid for his notebooks and pencils. His hands became rough, his muscles sore, but his mind grew sharper. He learned discipline from the weight of those bricks, discipline that would one day carry the weight of much bigger challenges. One afternoon, his teacher, Mrs. Mira, stayed back after class and said, "Aarav, you have something rare. Hunger for knowledge. Never let it die." She gave him her old radio, telling him to listen to educational programs from the city station. That radio became his university. He would twist the dial late at night, learning science, history, and English from voices far beyond the village. When the district announced a science competition, Aarav saw his chance. The problem: he had no materials to build a project. For weeks, He scavenged discarded wires, broken bulbs, and old batteries from the junkyard. His idea was simple but powerful, a device to generate light from scrap. His father watched silently, unsure if this was foolish or genius. On the contest day, Aarav stood in a hall surrounded by polished models from wealthy schools. His project looked like a pile of garbage compared to theirs. Some students smirked, but when Aarav explained his design, the judges leaned in. He spoke with passion, not just about science, but about giving light to villagers that had none. That day, he didn't just present, he told a story. Aarav didn't win first place, but he won the Innovation Award. It came with a small scholarship, enough to buy proper books and a second-hand laptop. For him, it wasn't just a prize. It was proof that the world had started to notice. That night, he showed the certificate to his father, who, for the first time, said, "Maybe. Your dreams aren't so far away." With the scholarship, Aarav enrolled in online courses, often walking to a nearby town just to access the internet cafe. His English was broken and his typing was slow, but he persisted. Every failure was simply another lesson. His friends spent evenings playing games, but Aarav spent them building skills no one could take away. One of Aarav's online projects caught the attention of a professor in the city. The professor emailed him, offering mentorship. It was like a door had opened in a wall he'd been pushing for years. Through video calls, the professor guided him on how to refine his ideas and apply for scholarships abroad. Years of hard work led to something no one in his village had imagined: an acceptance letter from a top university overseas. His father sold a small piece of land to help him buy the plane ticket. The day he left, the entire village gathered, not to laugh this time, but to wave him goodbye. Some even whispered, "He's going to make us proud." Landing in a bustling city thousands of miles away, Aarav was overwhelmed. The buildings touched the clouds, the streets were alive with neon lights, and the labs were filled with technology he had only dreamed of. He struggled at first with the language, the pace, and the loneliness, but he remembered Mrs. Mira's words, "Never let your hunger die." University life was intense. While others partied, Aarav spent nights in the lab, experimenting and failing repeatedly. Some professors doubted his methods, but he had learned long ago that failure was not the end. It was the beginning of something better. Each failed experiment brought him closer to a breakthrough. After months of research, Aarav developed a low-cost portable water purifier that could be made from affordable materials. It was a solution that could save lives in poor regions lacking clean water. His idea was presented at an international conference, and for the first time, he stood before an audience that saw him not as a poor boy from a village, but as a visionary. News outlets covered his story, calling him the village boy who shook the world. Governments and NGOs reached out to fund his project. Aarav wasn't thinking about fame or money. He was thinking about the villages like his own, where children drank from unsafe ponds. His invention was going to change that. Years later, Aarav returned to his village, not as the boy with torn shoes, but as the man whose work was saving thousands of lives. The same people who once laughed now lined the streets to welcome him. He didn't just bring money, he brought clean water, electricity, and scholarships for children who dared to dream. Aarav knew his journey was far from over. He started a foundation to help rural children access education and resources. "Dreams are seeds," he told them. "They grow only if you water them with hard work, patience, and belief." In his eyes, they saw the reflection of their own possibilities. And that's the truth. My friends, your starting point does not define your destination. The world will doubt you, mock you, and try to shrink your dreams. But if you keep moving forward, step by step, you can turn impossible into inevitable. So whatever your dream is, protect it, fight for it, and never let it die. Because one day, the world might just need what only you can give.